And welcome to Chamber Talk. My friend Jason is hiding outside because he still has a little bit of that cough going, and we don't want to have coughing fits. But we do want to say thank you to Jason and Fairfield Media Center for making sure that our Chamber Talk continues to happen. So we finished Blast Off. It was record numbers. Weather was beautiful. It was a fabulous day. We had our all chamber business after hours. If you didn't come to that, look for another one. We want to do another one this fall. So if you're a home-based business or a smaller business, this is your opportunity to come out and get people to come and visit and learn all about you. There were some really great connections made. So it's kind of in that lull. We've got Fairfield Treasure Hunt weekend, the last weekend of July. So if you want your garage sale on the map, it's $5. If you are a chamber member and you are going to have a sale, make sure and get a hold of Claire and I so we can get you on that map. Then Leadership Fairfield is opening up right now. And we already have like 10 people in there. So get those applications in. And then we're going back to that level 1 with some new things that we really liked in level 2 that we're going to bring down to the level 1 class. If you are a nonprofit or just a citizen and you see an issue or a problem in Fairfield that you think that our group can work on for their 8 months that they're with us and come up with a solution or move the needle a little, send those in to us. We want this to be very interactive, and we want them to make a difference in our community. So I have a guest today, my friend Dick with the Fairfield Productions, because you made another movie.
Yes, we did. We thanks for having me here, and thank you for getting rid of Jason for this time so we can. No, Jason and I have worked together for a long time on these films, and he's just fantastic. So
oh my gosh, he is wonderful.
We're close enough that we kid each other a lot. We've just finished the film When Maharishi Came to Town, the 6th film in the Fairfield History series. So we started with Life Before Fairfield, and now we're here at When Maharishi Came to Town. And we're going to show that film for free at the Cinema Fairfield, at the Fairfield Arts and Convention Center on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, June 20th, 21st, and 22nd.
Free.
Yep. Friday and Saturday are at 7:30, and Sunday matinee is at 3 p.m. So I want everybody, if you've had anything to do with any of my films or been to any of the other films, and you might think, oh, well, this one's a little different. It is a little different, but it's part of our history. What happened 50 years ago that changed this town forever?
Absolutely.
Whether you're happy with how it changed or not, that doesn't really matter, because I just treat this historically. So we have people's opinions who were there as townspeople, like Ron Hunterdos and Ralph Messerly, and they share openly some of their concerns, etc. And but also how the deals got done with the Parsons campus. Imagine, you weren't here then, right?
No.
Yeah. So imagine this town with a vibrant college. It was struggling, Parsons. And then in 73 in the spring, it's done. It just is done. And it's empty. And the people in town, if you think it's like the beautification committee meetings can get heated, can you imagine there's just nothing. There's so many related businesses and people are now out of work. They're having to move. Real estate values are really dropping, and everybody's wondering what they're going to do.
Yeah.
The choices were not good. You know, medium security prison or educational groups. Imagine something like in Indian Hills, who would take a couple buildings, but then you'd have a bunch of different people, and some of the buildings empty. Some of them, they really wanted to find something different, something that would. And they did find something different.
Yes, they did.
And we're thrilled to tell this story. You know, today, if you hear about yoga or something, you know, there's people at my church that have yoga class after, on the bulletin board. Back then, there was no churches that had yoga meetings, in their.
Yes.
It was really different and weird, and concerning to some people. So we're going to talk about that. We're going to tell people what it was like. This only covers those early years through like 75. There was no dome, no nothing.
Oh,
There was
yeah.
just what happened when it first gets started. And Maharishi actually comes here to town, invites the whole community. They have this huge meeting in the field house. It's really fascinating. We got the universities gave us access to all their films and photos and so on from their archives. So we had a chance to work. I worked with Amin Kader, who's a fabulous filmmaker in his own right.
Absolutely.
He showed The Land of Nothing recently in town. He was our editor, our main editor this time. Jason Strong was our director of photography. Tim Britton was in charge of sound and music.
Of course.
And I was the producer and the director. And it was, we wouldn't have done it without the support from the city, from grants from the Greater Jefferson County Foundation, grants from the Iowa Arts Group, even grants. We had a humanities grant
Nice.
from the state, but then Doge happened
Oh.
and it got stopped mid. So we had the grant, we started spending money, and then they said, it's not there. We're not going to actually be sending you the money. $29,000.
Oh.
So I put a word out to the people who've been supportive, individuals, and I said, if you can help, please help. And we raised the $10,000 we need to finish the film.
Nice.
Bare bones, kind of, and
Yeah.
not that the film's bare bones. It's really
Nothing you
quite
do
nice.
is ever bare bones.
yeah. Music is beautiful again.
Yep.
Bo Ramsey's music is in it, and
Oh,
Bo
how
is
wonderful.
amazing. Paul Farso, who was connected to the university at one point, some of that music, very 70s, 80s type music that Paul did, some of that's in it, just to give a flavor. We've got people who were students. I've got all kinds of interviews. We interviewed over 30 people,
Wow.
and from all over the country. Mike Love, we interviewed from the Beach Boys,
Wow.
who was visiting Iowa, and we did a remote interview. I know Mike, and it was great to have his input, because when the university first started in Santa Barbara, California, Mike shared his place, is overlooking the ocean and everything, with some of the faculty and so on, who were preparing the first studies and the first classes. What's really interesting about this is we get into what it was like for them. They were starting a university from scratch.
Yeah.
And so the excitement for the people that were involved, it really gives you an insight into that I think everybody in Fairfield will find interesting. The students who are at the university now, they don't know a lot of this stuff. The people who are here and very active in the community but weren't here back then, you'll find this so interesting, because it really shaped where we're at now. And for whatever reasons, it did shape it. And that's why we felt it was historically relevant to first do the Parsons story, which we did. And we've been rewarded very nice. We won an Emmy for that.
Emmy is right there.
Oh yeah, there she is. And one of the things is that it's a feather in the cap, not only of the team. For example, Lawrence Iyer helped us do a lot of research, but on the Parsons film, Lawrence worked with, and then we worked with, so many of the Parsons alum.
Absolutely.
So am I boring you?
No.
No, I'm just kidding.
No. I was trying to not sneeze, actually.
Oh, no, it's totally fine. I was just kidding. Like, yeah, go ahead, Dick. Anyway, I hope people come out. I hope we pack the place. It's free. You can leave a Goodwill donation if you want, but I don't want anyone to go there and feel like they need to put any money up. If you don't have it and you want to just come for free, we want you to come. And so do all the people who donated and helped out,
Absolutely.
We have these 3 free showings, and we hope that we fill the house with every showing. Friday and Saturday, the 21st and 22nd of June, and then the 20th and 21st, and then the 22nd is at 3 p.m. for a matinee in case you don't like to go out at night.
In case
Some
you're
people
busy
don't.
for the weekend. You got a Sunday afternoon. Go to church and then go there.
Yeah, exactly.
So, is there another movie coming? Do you have a
There
plan?
is one more. One more.
I always wondered, like, when are you done?
7.
I'm looking at your posters.
We were
going to
do 8 and do one on the future of Fairfield, but the more I thought about it, the more I really don't think it's the Fairfield History Series job to do one on the future of Fairfield.
Yeah.
So the next one is going to be a lot of fun. It's going to be about artists and musicians and their influence historically in this area, from Native American all the way to the present, on the people here. If you think of some of the things that you enjoy the most in your month, sometimes it's a concert at Cafe Paradiso or something.
Exactly.
Or on the square or whatever,
Well, there's music and art everywhere in
Yeah.
Fairfield.
Or visual arts. I'm a little more of a music person, but some people it's a showing at the Icon Gallery or something, and it moves them.
Absolutely.
It really makes a difference. Like that, there are some stories in history about how when we first got started here, the Europeans moving in here, well, they found music to be extremely important part of our community. I want to tell you really quickly a story.
Okay.
When they decided to make Jefferson County a separate county, actually it was part of Henry County for a little while, but then the new treaty was signed, and we then expanded from west of the Skunk River, and that's at the time we were almost all the way to Fairfield. That's where the line was at the end, and after that it was Indian country, quote unquote. Now we have expanded further, and so we make Jefferson County. They decided it's going to be called Jefferson County, but they want to get 2 representatives to go to Burlington. So they have this basically like a fire pit kind of time where they get all the people after work to come and get together, whoever wants to represent. And then a guy goes and goes, listen, we like to have fun here in this area. It's a little different than the Henry County people. we have more fun. So I propose that whoever represents us has to be able to dance the jig. And people all agree.
Oh my goodness.
So what happens is they all are there, and they're going to all dance the jig. They dance the jig here, there, and all of a sudden, the preacher said, I need to be excused from this because it's not in my church doctrine. And they said, okay, the preacher doesn't have to do it, but everybody else has to do it. So one guy goes, I don't dance the jig you guys dance. I've just moved here with my family from the South, and I dance something called Juba. Well, we find out in doing the research that Juba is actually from an African American thing. It's almost a combination of jig and tap.
Oh, wow.
Almost think like Irish dancers, you know what I mean?
Yes.
But more like a tap.
Huh.
And its patent Juba is the person who keeps the beat banging on rocks or,
Drums
think
or-
about
yeah.
pots and pans or
Yeah.
something, So we've been doing a lot of research on this. And what we found was that guy actually was so good. He goes, I think you'll like it. Everybody didn't want to let him do it, but then they let him do it. And he ended up they asked him to do it again.
Blow their
He
socks
did it
off.
again. They loved it. And he became one of the 2 people representing Jefferson County.
Wonderful.
So it's an interesting, if you really do the research, this all played a part in what happened here.
Absolutely.
And we're gonna tell those stories because we think the whole purpose of Fairfield History Series, Andy, is to bring people together by understanding our common history. You might think very differently than me. I hope you do. Everybody thinks a little different, and we all have different politics, different things like that. That's fine, but it's nice to find some of the things that unite us. And one of the things in this area is who lived here before us. What were they like? When we did our work with Native American groups that lived here 1,000 years ago, who were those people? What were their customs?
Yeah.
And what language did they speak? And the more we know about that, the more we kind of are connected to it, and it gives us something in common that we both can
Absolutely.
talk about comfortably.
Absolutely.
So that's what this movie's about. I hope everybody comes out and watches it. Come
Friday
a little,
and Saturday night.
come a tiny bit
Sunday
early so
afternoon.
that you don't get left out. One time we had to turn away about 50 people. So please come and enjoy this. It's something we've worked for the last year and a quarter putting together, and it's been a blast. It's really been a blast to do it, and it's an honor. I want to thank everybody who's made it possible for us to work on this and support us. And if you haven't given a penny, but I'll tell you one thing you could do is just come and watch it. Be a part of it that way.
Absolutely.
And I think you'll. I don't think you'll. I think you'll end up coming up to me and saying, "Dick, I learned so many things I had no idea about." And that's what I like. I love the fact that we can all learn about our shared history.
So after the premiere,
Yes.
if somebody can't make it this weekend, they're out of town, can they purchase the film?
Yes, so they can purchase the DVDs at everybody's, Whole Foods, or at the Chamber, I think we have
Yep.
them, and at the museum. So 3 places in town. It also can be purchased as a stream, either to rent for $3.99 or to buy for $14.99. Or you can even order the DVD online at our website, which is www.fairfieldhistoryseries.com. Fairfieldhistoryseries.com.
What are you going to do when you finish this last film? Do you have other? I'm sure you've got 27 other things in the back of your brain that you want to do.
We were doing this morning. I had committed to do another short film on Susan Fulton Welty, who we found a stash of her research that Lawrence is going to do some homework on at University of Iowa, and they are going to give us open those research caches to us so that we can find out, because she's the one that wrote A Fairfield,
Yes.
the only big history book about Fairfield other than the one her father wrote years before. So we'll share a little bit about Susan. I call her our patron saint of the Fairfield History Series. It's why we're Fairfield Productions and not Fairfield Productions, because it's A Fairfield is her name of her book. And we wanted to kind of give a little nod to her, because doing this research, we really work hard to make sure that we check all of our sources, that we're talking to people who actually lived there and existed there. I got a guy on this film. His name is Les Schmedica. He's in the Fairfield Ledger all the time in the earliest days of representing. He used to be here with Jim Belalove, and they would kind of represent the university as they were trying to tell people about it.
Yeah.
Les disappeared about a year after he was involved in that, and no one's ever seen him. No one could see him, and we couldn't find him. We couldn't do anything, but he was being mentioned so much, I wanted to interview him. I tracked him down with Lawrence's help, who actually found, his name was a little different now than it was, and we tracked it down. We connected with him. He ended up saying, "You know what? That was one of the most wonderful times of my life. And even though I'm not involved in it in any way now, I'm happy to talk to you about it." And it was really nice. And he loved Fairfield, and it was great to speak with him. So we always have these really interesting
I love that.
people as part of this. Yeah.
Perfect.
Well, what do you think? You going to come?
I can't this weekend because I am booked all weekend, but I will buy the DVD
All
or
right.
a stream or something because
Send a
I
bunch of
want to
people.
learn it.
Yeah,
I
yeah,
want to learn
that's
about
what we
it.
want.
So Friday, Saturday, Sunday afternoon.
So it'd be on the 20th to the 22nd.
Make time to be there. You do not want to miss this. And if you have to miss it, buy the DVD, be informed, and get signed up for Barnyard Bash. It's right around the corner, and we are open for the booths. So come out, free family fun. We're going to pull out a couple of surprises this time. So
Nice.
it'll be lots of fun right around the corner. So
You're doing good work.
thank you.
Great work.
Thank you. So thanks for joining us for another week, and we will see you next week.